Welcome to this presentation called Start Reading and Responding to Your Stress Symbols Before It's Too Late. Don't burst. This presentation is going to be talking about stress camouflages, symptoms of stress, and then solutions. But before we get started, let me just introduce myself. My name is Mr. Advocate. I am the co-founder of RiseToYourTop with my daughter, Michele. And we're all about doing coaching, counseling, and business consulting in a seamless platform. We call it The Climb. Anyway, let's get right into this presentation and first of all talk about the problem when we're dealing with stress. And again, it's the issue of coping mechanism, camouflaging symptoms, if you like. Our system will automatically set up coping mechanisms if we get stressed, especially severely stressed. Some people have actually are stressed all the time because they don't know they're stressed. That's the problem. You're stressed all the time because you don't know you're stressed and therefore do not look to solutions to deal with your stress. And I know people who have been in this state for years, over 10 years. So it's a serious issue and more often than not results in some severe health problems, whether it's emotional, going in the direction of panic attacks and deep depression, suicidal thoughts, or physical. Your immune system can get beaten up. You can get diabetes or multiple sclerosis or some bad things like that. So it's a really, really serious issue. And again, many people do not know that their systems set up a coping mechanism and they're more stressed than they ever had any idea. They might think they're at a 2 or 3 out of a 10, and actually they're at a 9, and that's the problem. So what do we do about this? I think that I want to explain the stress process by using the metaphor of our irrigation system here, which, by the way, I got a burst. It burst. There was too much pressure for too long a period of time, and the pipe broke. As you know, water comes in before you have all these valves, and there's a valve here that can turn off all the pressure that's coming from the street, from the house, and we can decrease the pressure. Once we open up the valve here, then there's pressure back here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Behind the valves here, all this has pressure in it, and we have valves because there's actually not enough pressure to water the entire property all at once. So you release a valve at a time so there's enough pressure, which that's the same in humans. We actually need some level of stress, but not enormous amounts of stress. So we got all these zones, as we call it. Now, I'm from the Midwest, so I'm just discovering all this stuff. So we didn't really have all this fancy-dancy, irrigation stuff. But in behind here, this was under pressure, I guess, for a long period of time, and boom, it burst. And indeed, we had a flood. The whole area, flooded. And that's when, again, our systems can then just finally burst, with the pressure. And as you know, to then repair something, it takes a lot of work. I had to dig all this stuff out of here, all the earth. I got it piled up in about 10 different, buckets, sitting over there. And it's a delicate process because you don't want to make more holes in the piping system. And it looks like it's pretty old. Some of it looks like it's 20 years old. So I got fortunate that I didn't have to replace a whole system. I just had to do a T down there and got that done. So our bodies have a similar, this is a good analogy. We need some stress, but not too much stress. And we need to ensure that we're just putting one valve on at a time. So what are some of the symptoms that you might be looking for? And again, it's going to be different. One size fits one for everybody. But a big one that we see today is anger. If your anger factor is just going up, or you've just been angry for a long period of time, I suggest as a stress factor. If you're getting more body pains, stomach pains, back pains, wrist pains, whatever, pains, malfunctions, the system's just not working the way it used to. Maybe there's numbness, in your arm. Exhaustion's another symptom, and we lots of people are exhausted today. Poor decisions. If your decision-making process isn't working, then the stress is messing with your mind, with your ability to collect information, process it, come up with concepts and solutions, and making wise decisions. Broken relationships. Yikes, this is like all over the place. That's another symptom. Spotty performance at work. You're just not functioning the way you used to. There's, again, all kinds of them. The issue is that we need to start, if you're the person that candidly doesn't recognize the depth of stress that you're in, we need to start looking at these symptoms. And what we've done for other people is we've got a buddy for them, somebody to help them identify the symptoms. Remember, their coping mechanism basically has camouflaged those symptoms. They're not seeing them. They're normal. They don't even think about them as stress, but it's stress. So get a safe person where they can watch you, see your behaviors, and reflect upon whether they think that you're under stress and what triggered that stress. What is the trigger? What is the source of that stress? And you don't have to look too far. Most stresses happen right in the home, in relationships. It could be a spousal thing or a child thing or a sibling thing. So stress is in relationship. It could be finances, and with this COVID stuff and things set upside down, jobs lost, etc. Stress in the financial area, or just the future. What's going to happen in the future is creating much stress for a lot of people. So the sources of stress are there, but it's good to identify them very, very, precisely, and that's going to help you say, yes, I am under stress. That's the important thing. I am stressed out, because knowing the problem is half the solution. The next thing to do is really to understand stress, really become a student of stress, really learn about it. And that's why I'm providing you 72 videos on stress. 72. Why? It's a big subject. There's a lot to learn. It affects our financial life, our relational life, our spiritual life, our physical lives. It's like everywhere, and how to deal with it is quite diversified as well. So become a student of stress. We're developing a new platform called The Climb, which is going to be dealing with stress, but also how to rise to your top. Because what we want to do is eliminate some of those sources. And the more fit you are financially, relationally, physically, spiritually, the less stresses you're going to have. So rising to your top is part of a stress solution, as well. You might consider subscribing to this channel and become part of the team here and helping other people with their stress. So when you look at stresses in other people, it actually helps us with our own stresses. Helping others, helping ourselves. Like putting our oxygen mask on first and help others. Help others, put our oxygen mask next. Whatever. We have to get the oxygen mask on and be helping others, at the same time. So I hope that you will take away from this is that you're under stress and probably don't know its depth. And I certainly don't want to have you burst and have a big health problem, big relational problem, big financial problem. Let's start decreasing the stress. Let's start managing the stress. Bust it, yes, in exercises and in nutritional things, but let's get to the source at the same time. And again, we're here to help you. We know we can help you, and just make the decision to say, you know what, I think I'm more stressed and I need some help, and then we'll start moving forward together. Thanks for listening to this video. Keep watching, and we're here to help you, because you know what? You're really important. There is only one you. You're a unique human being, and we need you to rise to your top and be the person you were designed to be. And again, that's our mission, and when that happens for you, everybody wins. You win, your family wins, the place of work wins. It's a win-win proposition. Let's do it together. Bye for now.